you. My name is Conrado Guzman. I live in Mexico City, but I go to Arizona State University, where I am currently almost finishing my master's in sustainability leadership. It's an online program. And I'm going to be presenting to you the project for the communications awareness campaign for the legal protection of Bosque de Agua in Mexico City. And before I start, I want to tell you a short story, especially to all of my friends who are still university students. On the last, perhaps, couple of weeks before graduation, I had this professor approaching me and asking, like very honestly and very openly, like, what is it that I wanted to do with my life now that I was graduating? And so I started like making up different responses, like my parents would like to have this, or society says this. And he was like, no, 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 like don't think about any of those things. Like, what is it that you want to do? And it really didn't take too long to shout out a response that was forests. I want to work with forests. That's what I want to do. That's my passion, and that's what I really want to do with my life. So if you remember, I moved to Mexico City 6 years ago, and for those 6 years, I was only visiting forests as a hiker. But thanks to this project, thanks to Project Green Challenge, I am working now again with forests, and this project is actually a part of that. So that is just a little story. I want you to remember what is Bosque de Agua. Now just hold on. There you go. Bosque de Agua in English, in Spanish, means forest water. And it is a forest that lies to the west and south of Mexico City. It's around 880,000 acres, and it's a subtropical forest, temperate forest, and it's derived from the ecosystem service that it gives to the more than 22 million inhabitants in Mexico City, as well as in the cities of Toluca and Cuernavaca, which you can see in the map that are on the west and the south. Bosque de Agua is always threatened by urban sprawl, by wildfires that are mainly produced by people, pollution from agriculture and plastic, and obviously the city, and also, well, just the corruption that exists in our region, and it's no different in Mexico City. Shout out to Kat, who was my mentor, my ambassador for Project Green Challenge, who's studying actually art. Geographic information services. And so she made this map, which highlights how big Bosque de Agua is and where it is located in Mexico City. So Bosque de Agua is pretty relevant. And I wanted to do something about it, not only visiting it, but doing something for its protection. So I am familiar with this professor, Professor Jürgen Hott, who is one of the leading experts in Bosque de Agua, who has done extensive research and worked with local communities. And so I reached him in January and exposed the project that I wanted to do. Professor Jürgen Hott, with his experience, highlighted a very important problem with what I was proposing. He was also involved in the proposal for the creation of the Biosphere Reserve for Bosque de Agua. However, local communities, and Bosque de Agua's 90% of the land is owned by indigenous and rural communities, are against this type of legislation. And the reason why they are against it is because most likely than not, when you have the government or the state wanting to protect the land through these types of denominations, people feel like they're going to be excluded from making decisions or from their land. And it's actually something that we see in Africa, in Latin America. So Professor Jürgen Hott, he recommended me to ask them first, what is it that they wanted? That was not the scope of the project, so we had to go back into the original proposal, which was educating visitors. So during February and March, we developed like a campaign, like a pamphlet or a leaflet that was reviewed by some of my friends through a virtual focus group, where we wanted them to really see if we were getting the message across about how we can protect Bosque de Agua when we visited. So we came up with the principles of conservation for natural areas directed to the hikers who visit them. That's the thing in there in Spanish in the presentation. And so, well, we did that and we tested it with 14 friends as well in another hike that we did. And what we wanted to see is, or measure is, or evaluate was how effective this information was for them. At the same time, we started communicating with Leave No Trace and to see what were like some of the connections that we could have with them to collaborate. So they suggested that we became a community partner, like a outdoor and hiking business, local business. And so we really want to do that, and we're looking forward. And I'm going to be attending the Leave No Trace Global Summit in October in Boulder, Colorado, as part of our desire to keep on collaborating with them. Aprendices is my hiking group that started over 2 years ago. But out of that, we created another business for clients and for visitors. So that is Pexaba, Ecotourism Services. And Pexaba is a Mayan word that means let's go. So it's like you're hiking, let's go, let's do it. And so we've had around 45 clients so far from March and April. And every time we interact with them, we want to have these conversations with them about the importance of protecting these places, starting from the fact that the places they are visiting belong to somebody. Unlike the US and other global north places, natural protected areas in the global south belong to somebody. So you need to have the permission or at least pay for the access so that these local communities who are responsible for the forests keep benefiting from taking care of them and looking after them. So that is something that is very important for us to mention to our clients, that every time we go into Bosque de Agua, we are stepping into someone's backyard. And we have to be responsible visitors, not only for the forest, not only for the people, but also for the coming generations. So Pexaba has already started. It's 5 guides of us. And our leader is Uriel, who is one of my best friends. And I just want to say thanks to him because he is believing that we can do something meaningful through Pexaba. We are in the interest of, like I said, partnering with Leave No Trace, but also with the National Outdoor Leadership School, which has a chapter here in Mexico, in Baja California, where we can keep on training for being a very good business that does responsible hiking in Bosque de Agua. Finally, thank you, Project Green Challenge. Thank you, Brian, so much. I know you're here for all of your insights and your ideas and everything that you gave me. And I know Kat is not in here, but Kat was a great, great help at the beginning, especially with visualizing her help through the map and everything else. So that is the clock. Thank you so much, everybody. And if you come to Mexico City, please hire us as your outdoor hiking business, local business. Pexaba. Thank you.